Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with an Expert. Breakfast with an Expert is brought to you by Prince William Living, and this is a no-cost program that we provide to help businesses and organizations grow. This is free education. Free education is always good. And today we are going to be talking about hashtags, which is an often confusing topic, especially if you're new to social media. Or even it's a good refresher if you've been on social media for a while and just have seen a lot of different hashtag activity and you're wondering how to develop your own system. So today I am going to show you how to get out of hashtag hell. So the first thing I want to talk about is sort of the history of the hashtag, which if you're from my generation or other generations, the hashtag was called the pound sign or the number sign. But it turned into a symbol that was used in programming. All the way back in 2007. Now, it's funny because we think about the hashtag and we think about social media and we think about it being older than that, but really the hashtag just came out in 2007. And it was used to try to gather information about a particular topic. And so the way that it was used was to index information. So if you think about a book index and the way all of the topics are organized alphabetically at the end of a traditional book. So every time a word is mentioned, it's indexed and the page number is put on there. It's the same thing online. This information is gathered under a single hashtag and it is indexed just like it would be in a book. It's programming magic. I am not going to pretend I'm a programmer, and if you can read what we have here on the left, then you are way ahead of me. So when you are looking at a hashtag on social media, they are clickable. Once you go into a platform, so say you go into Facebook and you see hashtag PW Living. You click on hashtag PW Living, and what comes up would be all of the posts that we have done on PW Living, just like an index. And then you can click on those individual posts. What's interesting is that you can also search hashtags through a Google search. So if you go on Google and you search hashtag PW Living, it'll refer you to all the different platforms where we have used that hashtag. So it'll come up with Twitter posts, and it'll come up with Facebook posts and Instagram and Pinterest and everywhere that we have used these hashtags. So the same thing would be for your business. If you used a particular hashtag for your business and somebody Googled the hashtag, they could either come up with it on the platform itself. By platform, I mean the social platform, or they would come up with it through a Google search. So why do we bother to use hashtags? Okay, there are several reasons, and they are sometimes overused. So here are the situations where they really make sense to use. Okay, they bring people to communicate on a single subject. So a lot of times you'll see people use hashtags for a nonprofit, for a cause, hashtag race for a cure. Or, we have one for our publisher, Rebecca Barnes, hashtag Save Lefty, and it's breast cancer and cancer mammogram awareness, prevention awareness. So it's to rally around a particular subject or to get people communicating on a particular topic. Okay, we can use it in our business or our organization to increase followers. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll use it as part of their marketing strategy. They'll use it as part of their branding. So again, going back to our own example, hashtag PW Living, you will see hashtag PW Living in other pieces of our marketing. So if you get a newsletter, you might see hashtag PW Living. Sometimes you'll see PW Living get visible, and that is something that we use when we talk about people who are trying to get exposure through the magazine and through the programs that we have at PW Living. So you would be doing the same thing with your business. You know, maybe you have hashtag easy titling, because it's easy to get a house title through your organization, through your business. So whatever it is that you're offering, or whatever it is that you really want to highlight, kind of think about that when you're using your hashtags. They're a great way to boost organic posts. Now, by organic, we mean not paid for. So these are the posts that you're putting up on Facebook and Twitter. They're kind of blurbs that you're throwing out there. And the reason that they increase your organic traffic is that they are searchable, for one thing, and there are actually people that are searching for these different hashtags, and that they follow these different hashtags, especially if you can start some kind of trend, or if you are hopping on a trend. Okay, and then people actually do use relevant hashtags to follow conversations, or to do research. So Amanda Beatty was saying that when she is going to travel, she will look up particular hashtags to find out information on the area. And it's information that you might not find, you know, through Yelp or through a traditional search. So they can be very useful that way. The social media platforms that use them, we have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube. There might be a couple of more out there. These are some of the bigger platforms that are using hashtags, and you can use them in different places on these. So for instance, Facebook, you could use them in the post, but on Twitter and Instagram, you can also use them in your profiles. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So there are two kinds of hashtags. Okay, we have your regular hashtags. So these are your general kind of keywords, and then you have custom hashtags. And the custom hashtags are something specific to your organization, to your business. You know, again, we could go back to the example of PW Living. If you look over here, we have Xavier Group. Xavier Group is a commercial cleaning company. Okay, so they have their own hashtag, Xavier Clean, visitor ready, and then they have a generic hashtag that they use, commercial cleaning. So whenever you see Xavier Clean, that's part of their brand now for Xavier Group. And you can click on that and see all their different posts. This one is this is on Facebook. So what you want to do is, first of all, when you're choosing one, is consider the purpose of the message. Okay, why are you using a particular hashtag, and what do you want readers to know about you by looking at this hashtag? So with the example of Xavier Clean, we want people to, whenever they think of the word Xavier, we want them to think of cleaning, and when they ever think of cleaning, we want them to remember the word Xavier. So it's kind of a psychological prompt, you know, where you put two words together and you establish a relationship between those words. When you are doing it, some people are trying to start a trend with theirs hashtags, you know, hashtag race for a cure. It's a lot harder to do that, obviously, because there are just so many hashtags and so many topics, and we are inundated with information on social platforms. So sometimes it's a lot easier to use somebody else's major hashtag like that under a cure and latch onto that so that you can kind of ride the wave with that hashtag. Now, with that said, it's okay to do that if it's for some kind of a cause. It's okay to do that if it's something really generic. But for instance, you're not necessarily going to grab Nike's hashtag, just do it, because that's Nike. And you don't want to confuse people, for one thing. You don't want to brand yourself with Nike. And second of all, it's kind of classless to grab somebody else's personal hashtag. It's slightly, it's almost borderline unethical. So figure out what hashtag you want for your organization or business and take it from there. Look at it from all the angles and the capitalizations, and make sure that it can't be read inappropriately. And I'm not going to read these examples out loud. You can see them here. And if you read them really fast in your head, you can figure out what the heck the problem is. If you can't figure out what the problem is, you want somebody else to read it first and make sure that it can't be interpreted incorrectly. Consider your audience and research which hashtags are currently popular. Can you make a play on an existing one? So there are actual websites and tools that we're going to show you later that you can use to look up popular hashtags. And check what already exists to make sure you're not duplicating it. Okay. One of the reasons is that you might not like what comes up when somebody has a duplicate hashtag. Okay, so if you look up the hashtag ATW, okay, ATW means a lot of things. When I'm doing it, I want it to mean all things writing. Well, the way that I got around that so I wasn't confused with other ATWs was that I put ATW rocks, which is not the greatest hashtag in the world, to be perfectly honest with you, but it sets a distinction from other ATWs. Okay, and then the other thing is that you want to, will bad timing, twisted thinking, or other associations make you look foolish? We have his two, meaning his two people also. But then if you put it together, it sounds like his two. So you want to make sure that people can't turn this around and turn this into a joke unless you actually want the pun there. And again, it's just like any good writing. If you have any questions about whether or not it's going to be misinterpreted, show it to somebody else. Show it to somebody with twisted thinking and see what happens. So what words do you actually hashtag? A lot of times people just over hashtag, which is an issue. So one of the things is to use trending or wildly popular hashtags to increase your views. There's really good reason for doing this because it gets you more hits when somebody is actually searching under that hashtag. The downside of it is that you're being lumped in with a whole lot of other people that are using that same hashtag. So it's good and bad, and that's why you also want to make sure you have a custom hashtag so people can find you in particular. Okay, use a highly specific hashtag to reach your ideal audience. So if you remember, we went back to the idea of Xavier Clean. Okay, these are particular people that are looking for commercial cleaning. Use hashtags that the influencers in your industry use. If you want to know who an influencer is, go ahead and jump on LinkedIn. They'll tell you who the influencers are, and you can look and see what kind of hashtag they're using in their posts. Maybe it's hashtag cybersecurity. Maybe that's one hashtag that we're looking at that people are following. So that's something that you want to use particular to your industry. Look at your competitors' posts and use their non-branded tags. Okay, this goes back to don't steal somebody else's campaign that's specific to their business, but go ahead and look and see what they're using. I mean, if you're in IT and you are going to use a hashtag, cybersecurity, your competitors are probably doing that too. And that's general enough to use because it's in your industry, but it's specific enough because there are going to be people reading for that particular topic. And then look at posts that you use hashtags that you found successful. So if you were doing research trying to find particular information on something that your company offers, what words would you use to find yourself or to find a company similar to yours? So more items to hashtag. Okay, so we want categories. So hashtag social media. Campaigns, we said Race for a Cure. This one, Stop Them Now. Events and conferences. These are great ways to get the word out there that you are attending a conference. Sometimes people actually even use them to connect. So you would go to a conference and you would say, hashtag, hashtag World Cup. Hey, I'm at the World Cup. And then you look and you realize that, oh, wait, I think I know this person. They're on the other side of the center. And you can connect that way because you're connecting under a particular hashtag. Holidays and official days. World Pizza Day. There's actually a website that'll tell you what all the goofy words of the day, the official days are, and you can jump on that bandwagon. Popular cultural topics, TV shows, hashtag Game of Thrones. If you look that up, you will come up with all kinds of posts just on that. We also have some abbreviations that people use. So popular hashtag for days of the week. TBT is Throwback Thursdays. Sometimes people post pictures of themselves from, decades ago, or, sometimes it's areas of their business that, you get a business in Manassas. What did Manassas look like 20 years ago? And you throw a picture up there and you hashtag it TBT. And then general interest topics that have to do with your interest group. So that you might have blogging. So if you come over here and you look at CMIT Solutions, we have a combination of the custom hashtag and the general hashtag. So this post is talking about an industry-specific problem, which is phishing. So this new phishing campaign, so we hashtag phishing, pretends to be a voicemail. So voicemail has to do with the industry, but it also has to do with issues that are happening with that particular technology. And then we've also hashtag Ring Central. Ring Central is a particular product. So if people are looking for information on that particular product, they hashtag Ring Central, they're going to find this post. Okay, and then if you go to the bottom, he's got his custom hashtag CMIT Centerville. And again, that's another way to help brand CMIT of Centerville, CMIT Solutions of Centerville, because maybe you don't remember the entire name of the company, but you will remember CMIT Centerville. So some hashtag tools that you can use. Some of these are free and some of these are paid for. They all use a certain degree of AI and artificial intelligence, which is cool and creepy all at once. But what it does is it actually these tools crawl through the web to find popular hashtags for you and to give you some analytics on them so that you can make a decision which hashtags you want to use. Okay, so an Instagram hashtag generator. Okay, it's using artificial intelligence to actually look at pictures and say, oh, okay, this looks like a picture of a person having a party in a park. This is the hashtag that you would use for that. Just be really careful with whatever it generates because, AI is still new, and sometimes it's generating things that you don't want to generate. So remember when we said to go back and make sure that you're using a hashtag that wasn't affiliated with anything you don't want to be affiliated with? Even if you're using a hashtag tool, still do that. Do your own searches. Hashtagify, okay, you can search a hashtag's popularity, trends and correlations. Okay, it scrapes all the related data from Instagram and Twitter particularly, okay, and gives you a report on it. Icon Square. This is for Instagram and Facebook, okay, especially about your online following. So you can use this for to find information about the people that are following your business page or your organization's page. Hashtagify me, okay. This it's a free tool to find popular hashtags. It also gives you the data that helps you map the hashtag in relation to similar options. So what that means is it'll give you a list, and it'll say if it's World Pizza Day, you know, maybe you've got variations of that, hashtag World Pizza Day, hashtag World Pizza, hashtag Pizza Day, and it'll show you all the different variations of that hashtag that you can possibly use. Right tag, okay, is for Facebook and Twitter, and it shows how hashtags are actually performing. So how many people are searching a particular hashtag? You know, how popular is it? Sprout Social is a tool that is a paid-for tool, but it will actually tell you which hashtags are being used the most around your brand. So if you've got 2 or 3 different custom hashtags, you can actually discover which one is working the best and maximize that. You can also find this across networks, so meaning that it will look at the information. Say you post on 5 different platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., it'll find that information across platforms for you. It's not just relegated to, say, Facebook and Instagram. And then there are other free tools that you can use, but really do be careful, because there's a lot of, rogue programs out there, and you're looking at viruses, so make sure that you've got a good virus scan and that you've got good security on your system so that you can avoid getting a virus. So where else should you be using hashtags? So we know that you're using hashtags in your social posts, but you're also using them in your Instagram bio. Okay, if you look over here, our Instagram bio, there's our hashtag PWLiving. You can use them in your hashtag stories, you know, so these are kind of your more live posts that you're doing. You can use them in your Twitter profiles. So somebody looking for a cybersecurity company, you know, maybe they're using cybersecurity as a hashtag in their profile so that their business will come up. Okay, do it for your events and your live streams on Facebook. So when you're doing your recordings and you're broadcasting live using Facebook Live, then you can use a hashtag to help people find you. Although you know, it's going to pop up for your friends that you're actually going live, so that's kind of cool too. And then to your YouTube descriptions. So, you know, especially your YouTube descriptions, you want to make sure that you're using your custom hashtag so people know that a particular video is affiliated with you. You also want to check this once in a while. Go ahead and search your own hashtags to make sure that nothing is coming up that you don't want to come up. Sometimes, especially with YouTube, you can file a complaint if it's particularly egregious. So some hashtags don't. The first thing is, please do not overdo the hashtags, okay? Look at our image over here. You're ridiculous with your annoying and unnecessary use of hashtags. You know, you don't hashtag every single word. The reason is it's visually distracting, for one thing. Second of all, it looks tacky. And then third of all, people could think you're a bot. And bots just kind of throw this content out there with whatever words seem like it would be, you know, a word to highlight. But of course, it's a kind of low-grade AI, and it's not perfected, so they just hashtag everything, and you don't want people to think you're a bot. You don't want your hashtag to be too long. So hashtag, it's really hard to read something like this, even though people do it to be funny sometimes. You don't want to necessarily do that for your business because it makes it hard to read. You'll also notice that we tend to use caps at the beginning of each word, and that's visually to break up the word so that it makes it easier to read and things don't run together. Don't expect your apostrophes, dashes, other punctuations to translate. They don't. Only the letters are going to. Don't assume that people understand internet slang, abbreviation, and acronyms, and this is just a good writing rule in general. So hashtag SMH might be okay for your friends. You know, that means shaking my head. Well, you're not going to use that in business because people aren't necessarily going to know what that means. So just don't do it. Don't use hashtags that reflect poorly on your business. Okay, be professional. I don't think I really need to explain that. And then don't confuse the @ sign with the pound sign, okay? So sometimes when people will say, oh, please tag me on Facebook. When they say tag me on Facebook, they don't necessarily mean hashtag me. They mean use the @ sign, pull my name up, and then click on it to select me so that I'm notified that I have a post. So that's what the difference there is. So just make sure that you're being clear on your use of the word tag. If it doesn't say hashtag, clarify that. Some of the questions that we've been getting through this session are, how do you know if a hashtag is being abused? Okay, so again, go back to your searches, search yourself, have some friends search you, use one of the tools that we talked about that will help you search the hashtags to make sure that there's nothing going on with your hashtag that you don't want to be going on with your hashtag. Another question is what if you have hashtag, if you've got posts out there that already have too many hashtags, what should you do? Can you go back and edit them? Theoretically, yes, you could. It would be a lot of work. If you've got hashtags that are, you got 5 years worth of too many hashtags, I would say just probably going forward, cut down on the number of hashtags. Some people actually have hashtags in their advertising, or they have it in their marketing. They even have it on their business card. And again, this is for branding purposes. It's so people associate a particular hashtag with you, and it's just a way for them to easily remember you, especially if it's something catchy or if it's something that has to do with your, with your industry specifically that's merged with your name. There are a bunch of different ways to do it. If you are interested in learning more about generating custom hashtags, you can sign up for a consultation. Go ahead and email Rebecca Barnes, our publisher, or email me. And we can set up a consult. We can do a video consult or a telephone consult, and then we can talk about some of the other products and services that we offer that might be helpful to you. So we can fully manage your social media for you. We could do part of it. All of our visibility packages come with a certain amount of social media that we push through our channels. So go ahead, and feel free to ask questions. We're not high salespeople. And, we like to give free information. It's part of our mission to help make the community successful. And that's definitely, we want to make our businesses successful and our nonprofits and organizations as well. So I hope you found this presentation useful. I'm Catherine Gotthard, and I am the Vice President of Content Marketing and the Editor-in-Chief of Prince William Living Magazine, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.